and welcome to the SmackDown review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by Hamflett from WhatCulture, here to review everything that happened on Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts. Oh, you're not on SmackDown with us. The show formerly known as NXT 2. Oh, my God. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week, complete with a very good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to review this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Our last SmackDown review ever. No. Before we go to Las Vegas. Finally joined by a present we were given back in January by Mr. Lean Gate Valves himself, Lee of Lean Gate Valves.
Mm-hmm. That's where they got the name from.
Yes. And I know what you're thinking, Adam, that's too niche to be talking about. Well, to our American viewers, if you've got valve problems, guess what? Lee Pickering's coming to Vegas to fix them because he's going to be in Las Vegas for WrestleMania. He's torn his knee ligaments or whatever, so he's going to be hobbling around. But he emailed me the other day to say he is coming to the WhatCulture live show.
Las Valvegas.
Indeed.
There's loads of valves.
Well, that's what everyone's saying.
Yeah. It'll be great to see you again, Lee. Representing multiple blue brands as you do. Lean Gate Valves, Chesterfield, all of this that we do. So... is that anything? No, it's going to be absolutely fantastic to see you, Lee. And everybody coming to our live show at the HyperX Arena inside Luxor. Wilbourn,
speaking of knee injuries, I'm going to do a stage dive.
Yeah, he's going to be on crutches the rest of the weekend, and they're going to cost him all of the money in the world because it's going to be in America, the greatest country in the world.
If I really hurt myself, I might have to stay in Las Vegas.
You see why this stage dive thing has been a plan all along. Suddenly it all makes sense.
I want to stage dive every night.
Yeah, we are going to be watching SmackDown together.
Oh, my God.
But not just you or I. Not just you or I or Nicholas.
You're stuck with us.
That's me.
You have to be there. Not just everybody.
I like how you say this like it's going to be difficult for me somehow.
I mean, even if you didn't want to, you couldn't miss it on a 50-foot screen at the HyperX Arena because our live show is going to feature us on stage messing around, and then a live SmackDown watch party, and then Simon Miller doing ups and downs on that SmackDown film for YouTube, and then a WrestleMania preview podcast. It's going to be the biggest and best WhatCulture live show ever.
That's a bit of a ridiculous list. Is that even possible?
What?
Doing all that?
Of course it is, because it's going to be 4 p.m. till late.
But is it even possible?
Thanks, because I got it wrong. Anything's possible in the pyramid.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm not familiar with the catchphrase. And to prove that, as if it wasn't already proven on the Friday night, we're going to be back there Saturday. Mm-hmm. We're going to be back there Sunday.
I've had a lot of people calling me a flanker recently.
Well, do you know why that is? Not the reasons that people have been calling you something close to that you've been mishearing for 30 plus years of your life. No. It's because Mandalay Bay, which is adjoined to the Luxor through a series of tunnels and/or monorails, has a bar inside it called Flanker, where we will be doing a Raw watch party. So if you're not sick to the back arse of us, Nicholas, and you care to join us for one last night of live entertainment, we're going to be doing a Raw watch party as well. 4 nights, every WWE event taken care of, courtesy of us here at WhatCulture Wrestling in Las Vegas. Tickets available at whatculture.com/tickets to HyperX. All the rest are first come, first served.
I can't believe in 2 days' time we'll be getting there.
The 4, can't think of anything around a horseman of WrestleMania weekend. You got anything? Are you going to like Rhyme Zone or something?
Yeah, rhymes with horse.
The 4 course nights.
Yes.
The WrestleMania apocalypse. Because there's more than 4 of us and we use coarse language on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nights.
Workforce.
Workforce?
Oh, race horse. Oh, no, it's horse stuff.
There's 4 nights. 4 nights of live entertainment. It's going to be great. It's going to be as good as this or better. Simon Miller's going to be there. You're going to get the opportunity to, well,
the 4 Norsemen, because there's no way you'd have a bad time.
Done it again. Done it again.
Has he though?
This is why people turn out. It's not to see Miller and meet Nicholas and Phil and say, how/why do you do it? What you found?
Why does it say Norse horse in my suggested? Oh, okay.
You know what I haven't seen for a while and it always pops me?
Is Norse even Norwegian?
I don't know. It's Viking stuff in it, Norse. Norsemen.
Like Norse mythology.
Yeah, Norse mythology is Vikings and...
No, Norse and Norwegian are not the same.
The dragon...
Sorry.
The dragonless element of Game of Thrones has got like Norsey overtones.
Oh, no, it includes Danes, Swedes and Norwegians. North Germanic people.
There you go.
It's close enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
That, it really pops me and it turns up on Twitter or X or whatever. Is that drawing of a horse where somebody gets bored towards the end? I can't do it.
People use it to analyze TV series. Here's the first 10 episodes and here's the final episode. Game of Thrones is the perfect example.
It's got a great ass and the head's rubbish, or is it the way around?
Yeah, no, great ass, and then it's just got like a stick.
Smiling. Oh yeah, I'm the horse. It's good that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's very much, I was going to, it's kind of like our WrestleMania coverage, because HyperX Gordon about, no, I'm joking. It's going to be fantastic all the way through. We might be slightly more tired because I'm not sleeping until I'm dead, mate.
Nope.
I am going to eat, sleep, drink the feud. All 3 of us in this room are going to be going all late in the HyperX and then up at the crack of dawn for NXT. Dawn is
Teachable moment! Teachable moment!
Standing Leroy, if you're going to that. Doing, what went down? No, ups. You're allowed the keys to ups and downs for NXT, aren't you?
Hope you like golden ups, baby.
And we can say that before we've even seen the show.
Hey, I'm just speculating.
Wait,
the best book show.
Where are my manners? So, T-Mobile, just a mere 15 minutes away from the Luxor. Allegiant Stadium, a mere 15 minutes away from the Luxor. But in slightly opposite directions. We're equidistant to all the WrestleMania venues. That's just one of the many reasons why anything's possible in the pyramid.
It's a hub.
It is a hub, yeah. But if you go in to stand in the Leroy and then you need to get yourself across to WrestleMania, I can't think of a way to describe. It's been a while.
We got ourselves a convoy into a beautiful sight. I don't know.
I cannot wait.
I'm so excited. Oh, we can sort of talk about SmackDown at some point, I suppose.
What, the SmackDown we're going to be watching at the HyperX Arena?
No, the SmackDown we watched over the weekend.
Right, yes, we should.
Good news, it was class. Surprise, surprise. Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
I'm very giddy.
And look, if you're not going to WrestleMania, all the coverage, we will get as much out as possible to make it feel like
I'm getting everything out.
And soon enough, all of this will be over. And if you're sick of listening to all our plugs and all of our excitement, it will be done within the next sort of couple of weeks.
Podcast of sadness that's going to be our SmackDown.
Oh, you get to revel in how depressed we all are. Not me. I'm delaying the inevitable. Phil and Fed's excellent adventure is going to take us all over North America and Canada.
Looks like it's just me and you then, Nicholas.
Yeah, about that.
Some news.
Well, I'll always have my good pal Andy Murray on the news, just side by side after we get back.
He's got some family in Texas.
Oh my God.
Well, it's just you and our good pal.
Hey, we'll be all right, won't we?
I didn't know that an inflatable microphone could cry behind sunglasses.
Just slowly starts deflating.
I feel really unprofessional, by the way, because I've got my notes here for SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I genuinely can't remember the name of the first person who was in the ring for SmackDown. That's really bad, isn't it?
It's not great, but we'll try and get there by the end of the podcast. I actually need to jump in front of that segment with the guy whose name I can't remember, because I got a message from Phil Chambers, unsolicited. Normally I have to solicit the out of that guy for a reply.
Yeah.
But he messaged me. This never happens. He messaged me first about something.
Yeah.
And it was the shot of where this was based, Seattle, that faded into Vegas.
Of course.
And even he was getting excited about obviously getting to see Seattle or Fraser's stuff, all of that. And then now, obviously, wherever they are, whatever the city, and it always fades into that shot of Allegiant, doesn't it? A beautiful drone shot. And seeing them back to back even brought the Fiend out of him. Like Phil Dredd seeing my name flash up on his phone because there's going to be 16 messages about something I'm way too excited about that isn't feasible. But this time it was the other way around.
Yeah. So SmackDown GM is in the middle of the ring. Can't remember what his name is, though. And he talks about last week having a bunch of important moments, but he's here to talk about what happened with Randy Orton, of course. And he's going to maintain his professionalism. Mm-hmm. He's a man of his word, so he invites Randy Orton out to the ring. Out he comes. Crowd loving this, by the way. Basically already encouraging Randy Orton to attack his boss again.
Yeah.
He says, SmackDown GM, can't remember what your name is, but I know you took what happened last week very personally. But how did you not see it coming? As you mentioned, Randy already paid the fine in advance the last time he hit him with an RKO. So Randy thinks that they're even, but he's here not to talk about that, but to talk about his lack of a match at WrestleMania. This would be his 20th trip to WrestleMania. Special. He needs an opponent. Doesn't care what it takes. Maybe even the SmackDown GM, can't remember what your name is. You could lose the suit for a night and gear up. But the SmackDown GM says, look, this isn't about money. WWE's got loads of it. Not sure if you noticed.
It's on fire.
He says, I busted my ass for 20 years to make it here. I don't need your money. I need your respect. And Orton says, SmackDown GM, you do have my respect. I can't remember what your name is, though. But if you don't deliver a match for me, I'm going to have to I can't apologize to Mickie James for doing what I'm going to do if I don't get this match.
You know, in wrestling, you don't mention people's families ever, do you?
But then he's interrupted by Solo Sikoa and himself, Tama Tonga, who celebrated a year with the Fed, I believe, just recently. Yeah. Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Solo tells Randy, get out of the ring, stop embarrassing yourself. No one wants to hear you cry about missing Mania. It's over for you. You're in the past. Next week, L.A. Knight is going to end up in the same place because Jacob Fatu.
Just bits on bits at this point.
He's going to take the US title at WrestleMania and you're going to be sat at home all alone. Randy thinks it's funny, almost as funny as these two coming out here interrupting him whilst he's trying to be diplomatic. Those voices in his head are making a lot of noise and he wants to beat up a couple of Samoan boys. That rhymed. They do. I was going to say they do the surrounding the ring sort of thing, but there's only two of them.
Just stand there.
Yeah. They get the better of him. He tries to fight both of them off, but obviously the 2-on-1 until L.A. Knight. His music hits. He evens things out. They get the better of Solo and Tama. And Knight grabs a microphone and says again and again and again, same bloody thing. So he challenges Solo and Tama to a tag match. And SmackDown GM, can't remember what his name is, says, yeah, I'll do for the main event, I suppose.
I tell you what, SmackDown GM's getting away with murder because he's booking a lot of these on these 3-hour SmackDowns, and he's like, what would I have bloody done without like that? I needed a main event. Thank God one fell into my lap every single week. Not great, but what do you do? Like, we know they'd played, it was at the top of the broadcast, wasn't it? The Kevin Owens
Yes. The recap, I should have mentioned that.
You know, it's a shoot, it's sad, and it's getting sadder. Like, what was the latest thing that came out? Might not even be back next year.
Andy mentioned that on the news this morning. I was like, huh?
We haven't had like a Steve Austin Edge type neck injury story like this in quite some time. And like, he's got miles on the clock, Kevin Owens, as it is. So this is just bad news. But in the shadow of the bad news comes more bad news because Randy Orton not only needs a match, but needs something that doesn't feel like a total disappointment in contrast to what the Owens match was going to be. They're trying to make 20 years at WrestleMania sound, you know, it is prestigious, but like sound more than it is because it didn't matter to him 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And now it does. So you kind of got to like invent these stakes. So
and it can't be like, I saw people saying, oh, just do Rusev. Well, who wins? Because Randy's going on to challenge for the title, I would assume, at Backlash in St. Louis. So
I dare say,
sacrifice Rusev for that.
I dare say people might have.
I think this is the best alternative. It's not ideal. None of this is, obviously.
I don't agree, if I'm honest, but I don't have a pitch. I don't have a pitch. I don't like. I don't know. I don't know if you do. Because the thing is, right, I think the best case scenario now when they book Randy Orton and Solo Sikoa is that Solo goes full patter, does a big entrance, then gets RKO'd in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it doesn't need to go long. And I also like the fact it would play into the story, one would assume. Jacob Fatu leaves WrestleMania United States champion, and Solo's like, Thanks for God. Thank you for bringing back to the family. And Jacob Fatu could finally be like, why are you talking to me? You lost at WrestleMania.
Like an embarrass the family. Like at that. If they can get something out of this, and I think we're like two of the foremost Solo Sikoa apologists now that he's become banter.
Yeah.
He's kind of rubbish as a serious guy, but he's found his voice as a heel being a bit over the top cartoonish. So those are the characters that can take that kind of beating. I just don't know if they will. I worry that they'll think it's Triple H. I think, well, we probably need 10 minutes back and forth before we get to the inevitable RKO. Don't need it. RKO him straight away.
You will have to get food at some point during WrestleMania, mate.
That's true. Thank you, Solo, for potentially giving people toilet/food breaks.
I'll piss myself. I'll just go get some food. I'm wearing a shiwi.
I'm letting you go to the toilet. Why?
I'm wearing a shiwi, mate.
Why do you need to piss yourself? You can go to the toilet.
Piss yourself.
Like,
Stop pissing yourself. What is it?
Do you know? Right. There's a lot to unpack there. You know what a shiwi is, right?
Huh?
Right. It's a device that women can use to replicate that of a penis in order to use a urinal where the queues are smaller versus having to go to a cubicle at something like a festival or a major event like this.
Yeah.
Based on everything I've just said, why are you taking a shiwi to WrestleMania when you have got the pass to go to the toilet, urinal or cubicle, stall?
Well, how else am I going to go to the toilet?
You can, well, actually, no. Let's wind that back a second. You have any match you want, any moment of any match you want, to go to the cubicle or stall. No queues will be held up by you going to the toilet, right? And you have said, well, Hamflett, I like that idea, but I'm also going to piss myself, right? So in the event where you are not using the toilet and pissing your trousers, I'm going to ask you again, why are you taking a shiwi?
How else do you think we're getting to WrestleMania? Thanks to Shiwi.
You know what? Right, I get it now. 8D chess.
I mean, they haven't sponsored yet, but I'm hoping after they see this.
This is 10D chess, in which we get a sponsorship off Shiwi, and we piss our pants.
It's called promotion, mate. Ever heard of it?
In an advert for their technology.
Yes.
Got it.
What I was hearing was that if he had the shiwi, he could still piss himself.
Yeah.
In his seat. And then it would be like if you got one of them coffee nozzles where it splits the coffee in two.
Yeah.
He has 2 extra points, which actually means he'd piss himself faster.
Yeah.
And if there was 2 cups waiting below, he could catch it and then never have to move. So, if anything, the man is a genius.
That's
the way that's the way me and all of the listeners at home took it, I'm sure.
You've interpreted it in a way that I was too stupid to think about. I'm obviously not on you guys'
Either
level.
that, or he's going to try and do liquid poo, and that might be weird.
God!
Listen, if you're going to be stupid all podcast, I get to join in. You know what I mean?
Liquid poo, a new stable coming to NXT in 2025. There's a point where somebody, like a row in front, maybe 2 rows in front, are going to turn around at hearing your voice, whatever, and go, oh, no way!
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God! It's WrestleMania, and I'm sat in front of Wilbourn from WhatCulture. Oh my God! Why does it stink of piss and Well, now you know.
That's the WrestleMania experience, baby.
Jim Ross has said some stuff, hasn't he? Well, dry work in dark pants. What? Jim?
It's big ad breaks and stuff, surely. I just ask.
Just ask. They're playing Creed again.
That's his sacrifice.
It is.
Piss yourself.
Jim Piss.
Good old JP.
Good old JP.
Right, back to SmackDown.
Yep.
It is time for the Gauntlet to determine who faces Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the
Couldn't see how this was going to go. Couldn't spot the tricks and the techniques and the old booking ski.
women's tag titles. Of course, Liv and Raquel sat ringside for this. First team out.
Don't know, but they're not going to get it done. That's too hard a job.
Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, love them, but just, I guess, not their year.
Taking on Shayna Baszler.
Oh, my God.
Zoe Stark.
That big bait.
This kicked off as well on Twitter over the weekend because they wrestled at the start of the match.
One of the weirder ones in recent memory, that.
What are they doing?
What's this locking up that's also on the ground? Oh, that was good. I was quite entertained by it. Bailey's had a great week.
Yeah. Baszler came in for a reverse exploder suplex. Stark hit a flipping neck breaker, but Bailey broke up the pin. Chucked Stark outside into the barricade. Baszler went to stomp Valkyria's arm, but Valkyria out of nowhere, jackknife cover. 1, 2, 3, they advance.
I think if that arm stomp had been effective, she'd have called over Bailey and she'd have been like, take this broken wing. Is that anything?
Yeah, maybe.
Good.
Out next, a real challenge. Natalia's here. Flanked by, I love her, Maxine Dupree. They go to a break. We come back. Understandably, the fans are ecstatic when Maxine Dupree finally tags in. Huge bab. She hits a crossbody from the top rope, gets a 2 count on Bailey. She fires up, hits a splash on both of Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. Does her worm elbow drop. Bailey kicks out, and then she shows Natalya how you're supposed to do a sharpshooter, but unfortunately gets rolled up by Bailey to get the 1, 2, 3.
Natalya's doing Bloodsport, man. She's in, like, she's been in a business for like 20 years on the road all the time. Never has she been more literally fighting fit.
Yeah.
And these two are going to be sharing a city.
Nothing against her.
Right.
I just don't care, I'll be honest.
They're telling a story, aren't they, with Maxine Dupree?
She's going to pissed off.
Like, I really want Maxine Dupree to accompany to Bloodsport. And then,
That's
like,
funny.
if and when Natalya gets beat, like, she just blames it on Maxine, who's, like, still learning to wrestle pretty much. It's your fault. Decks her on the Raw after WrestleMania or something.
Yeah, she's getting turned, isn't she?
Could she be quite a funny member of American Made in the same way that Jim Duggan joined Team Canada in WCW?
Yes, of course. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Then it was a real danger for Bailey and Lyra because they were up against a team who do not respect the rules. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. They hit a bunch of double team moves on Bailey, but Bailey comes back, hits an elbow drop on Carter to get a 2 count. Valkyria comes in, but Carter lands a running boot to her head. They hit a keg stand, which did look awesome. I'll give them that. But Valkyria kicked out. Carter hit a dive onto Bailey on the outside, but back inside, Valkyria hit Chance with the Nightwing to get the 1, 2, 3.
The formula is what it is because of mini matches like this. The fans at this point were starting to bite and believe in the Bailey and Valkyria run. It was clear from the off what was going to happen, but it was at this point in the match that you could actually feel the heat rising for it a little bit as well, because Carter and Chance at least are a proper team, and there was a little bit of belief in the building that they were going to cut them off, but yeah.
Then we see Michin and B-Fab making their entrance before we go to a break. When we come back, Michin, not messing about, hit a tornado DDT on Bailey. B-Fab comes in and just kicks Bailey right in the face. It's a front neck breaker for a 2 count. Michin drop kicks Valkyria, hits a splash on her on the outside, but back inside, out of nowhere, Bailey hits the rose plant on B-Fab to advance again to the final round. Yes.
Yeah. Just quickly, because they factored into the Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton thing as well. Divisions need jobbers or, jobbers to the stars, I guess, who can then rise up in a functioning hierarchy. And I'm not saying the women's tag division is a functioning hierarchy right now, but I kind of like B-Fab and Michin in this role currently. And then you could just, if you actually wanted to plot a course for them where they start turning the results around and you're seeing B-Fab develop alongside Michin, it really puts over Michin as this like effective coach figure. And there could be like a good underdog story in them as a tag team that either ends in them, say, winning the belts down the line or a split, and you've potentially gotten them both over in new roles. I think there's some potential at these two.
I really like the two of them together. Yeah, I agree. The final round, though, is Bailey and Lyra Valkyria taking on the Secret Hervis, who could not have been happier coming out there. Fit as a fiddle in their suits, taking on a team who are just gassed, obviously, in Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. Immediately, fire goes after Bailey. Niven runs Valkyria into the ring, steps on the outside. They're doing a lot of saluting early on.
So you're going to copy homework. Copy the best homework, huh?
Exactly. Niven hit a senton on Bailey for a 2 count. That took us to a break. When we come back, they're still in control. Niven slams Fire, her own partner, onto Bailey for a 2 count. But Niven comes back in and Bailey DDTs both members of the Secret Hervis to try and finally get over for the hot tag. Valkyria finally gets it. Crossbody onto Niven. Also a tornado DDT. She goes for a fisherman suplex, but Niven's like, on me, and I think so. Suplexes her herself. Niven goes up to the second rope, salutes to the crowd, but Valkyria comes from underneath. This was an amazing spot. And power bombs her. Bayley tags in, hits a flying elbow drop, but Piper Niven kicks out at 1. I saw people talking about this going, is she going to business for herself? Or maybe it was just they wanted to do a dramatic spot of like, we've done that to her and she's kicked out at 1. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I just took that as monster selling. I didn't think anything of it. Maybe, I don't know, but it didn't scan as anything weird to me.
Niven comes back with a sidewalk slam on Bayley. Fire comes in, backbreaker, swanton combination for the two of them, and that's their finish, obviously. Looks like they have the match won, but Valkyria dives in right at the last second to keep things going. Really good timing on that. They all brawl in the middle of the ring. Bayley hit a Bayley to belly on Fire. Niven hit a headbutt on Valkyria. Valkyria pushes Niven to the outside. There's a bit of a botch there, but whatever. I don't really care at this point. They battle on the apron, and Valkyria out of nowhere power bombs Piper Niven on the floor.
Oh my God.
In amongst all this, Bayley's looking at this going, Jesus. Fire rolls her up for a near fall, lifts up Bayley, but Bayley gets loose, tags in Valkyria, hits the rose plant. Valkyria hits a huge leg drop off the top. 1, 2, 3. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria run the gauntlet. They're heading to WrestleMania.
Yeah, not unpredictable in any way. But I will say that this is going to come across as generous, but it's WrestleMania week and I'm feeling generous. And crucially, this match has, I don't mind Raquel Rodriguez or Lyra Valkyria, but this especially has 2 wrestlers that I love in Bayley and Liv Morgan getting this spot at WrestleMania. So means to an end, it's sort of been functional. I will give the wrestlers immense credit here in Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for taking pretty lackluster, lazy, and rushed last-minute booking and making it feel like something.
Yeah.
They justified the Intercontinental title match with Bayley's victory over Lyra in the build-up to Elimination Chamber, had a really good TV singles match on Raw to show that, Bayley couldn't get it done, but they're now bonded by mutual respect. Then you have that mutual respect play out in the perfect vehicle, it being a gauntlet, as we thought, kind of having to run the table. You shouldn't have put yourself in a situation to have to book an interesting-looking women's tag match at 2 weeks' notice. But you've used those 2 weeks really, really well. I don't know if that's praise or not, but the match you've ended up with is one I like.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Really excited for that on the night, and we'll run through where the match is going to land a little bit later on. Meanwhile, the wonderful Joe Tessitore, we're a huge fan of his here, explains that Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton have been disciplined due to what happened last week, and also they're around the car park, didn't they?
Yeah. Neither of them
could get the boot open.
Yeah, Tiffany was delayed getting her boot open, and that gave Charlotte Flair a window of time. And then because of that taking place in the car park, they were both just sent away for the weekend. And they're going to obviously meet again in Vegas, but only because they're both in town, because everybody's got to be in town, I guess. This is the only sort of reference to it on the only stuff that between them on the show?
Not quite. There is.
Sorry. We'll say, save just the overall to later,
And we got a nice sort of WrestleMania recap of The Rock and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. I'd say that's one of the best matches ever.
I would agree. And if you don't agree, well, F you, because there's perfect supplementary content to that exact statement with best match ever, Rock versus Hogan from WrestleMania 18. One of 6 great episodes myself and Sid have done in the first season of Best Match Ever, ending, of course, with the season finale, the match that's going to go into the WWE Hall of Fame this week. Deservedly so. The best match in WrestleMania history. In my opinion, the best match ever. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret the Hitman Hart from WrestleMania 13. They're all available to view on the What Culture Wrestling podcast channel.
Then Damian Priest makes his entrance. We've been told they're going to go face-to-face, Priest and McIntyre. Not quite, because Drew McIntyre jumps in from behind, slams his head into an LED board that goes all in the entranceway.
Yeah.
Beats the crap out of him, so much so that Priest has to be helped to the back whilst McIntyre slides into the ring and grabs a mic and says, "Are you seeing clearly now?" He's still wearing the eye patch, of course. Everyone can see. I only tell the truth. All my actions are justified. That parasite, Damian Priest, would never face Drew like a man, he says. Well, at least until he only has one eye, basically. But it is confirmed Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight.
Oh, my God.
At WrestleMania. Drew accepted that with one eye because that's the kind of guy he is. He says it's been a year in the making. He's going to make sure no one forgets what he does to Priest at Mania. And then he tells Seattle he's got a little bit of a secret to tell them. His eye is healed. He is 100% cleared. So Priest is 100% screwed at WrestleMania. And suddenly, Priest reappears, taking out security, storming down to the ring. He and Drew brawl again. There's a clothesline from Priest in there. He takes Drew to the outside, rams Drew into the ring steps. Apparently, this busted Drew open on the top of his head. Hence, there was all that blood over his hands, but you couldn't see it anywhere else. But Drew fights back with an eye gouge, slams the ring steps into Damian Priest, grabs him whilst officials are trying to separate them, and hits a future shock DDT on Damian Priest on the ring steps, and then rips off his necklace to hold it above him, stand tall as Drew McIntyre.
I really enjoyed this. A good brawl.
I love the build to their match.
Well, they've had good physical, so between this and the car park one, they appear to have quite good physical chemistry for just battering each other with stuff. So the fact that you're giving them the bells and whistles weapons match slot is ideal. It's a better, what would have been the one last year? Probably Final Testament versus Lashley and the Street Profits.
Yes, the Pride.
The Pride, thank you, yeah. This is a much better story for your kind of, I don't know, it's a popcorn match at this point, but better that because there's actually a little bit of meat on the bones with how much they hate each other. You kind of buy the hatred. Quite like Drew McIntyre having this almost like a character trait where he's trying to speed run the Punk thing because he thinks, like, that worked for me in the past. What he's losing sight of is that there was, obviously way more heft to it last year with Punk, but he's thinking, well, it got under his skin last year, so I'll do it again.
Yeah.
He's probably not realising that all he's doing is angering Damian Priest more, and they're going to pay that off a lot sooner, and they're just going to do it at WrestleMania. I'm just sad we didn't get the backstage scene where they offered Drew this contract for the Sin City Street fight, and he said, hey, and they went, oh, what, it's still too injured, you can't do it. And he went, no, hey, and I was like, you haven't got one anymore. That's what's going on under that patch. He's like, no, hey. And they did a bit of a who's on first routine for 45 minutes before he finally just said yes instead and took the match. But we'll never get that, I guess. It's good here, isn't it?
We're all good.
Eggs.
I tell you what,
It's all
though,
good stuff.
and that's DIY. They're watching the footage from there.
Sorry. I'll tell you what, though, and that's DIY.
The king of segues.
Yeah.
Right out of local radio, that one.
Seamless.
I'll tell you what, the Traffic and Travel Show is next.
They're watching footage from their match last week against the Motor City Machine Guns, and I think their complaint was the wrong person was pinned. They weren't the legal man. Am I right in remembering that?
Yeah, they're crying conspiracy and all the rest of it.
Exactly what Ciampa says. There's another tag team there, though, and it's Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy! And they basically say, you've got mental, you two. And they say, desperation doesn't look good on you. They walk off. Motor City Machine Guns show up and take the piss, saying, oh, do worry about what you like. We're going to fight for the tag team titles. On the SmackDown before WrestleMania, you have a theory. I agree with this. The floor is yours.
I think that they're going to do a schmozski. Road Dogg likes them. Bit of a Debbie Deeks or something on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, which normally would be a bad time, but it's going to be a great time because every bit of the SmackDown before WrestleMania is going to be a great time at the HyperX. However, that is in service of a throw 'em all on the card ladder match slash showcase match at WrestleMania with, well, all of the teams that have featured in the SmackDown GM's big conspiracy board, because they've all been in each other's business, and the Guns Street Profits match was kind of the last one.
Yeah.
Kind of the last guys to have the match, and this just brings them all back in with added guests.
Yes, because if you think that's the only tag teams that are going to be in it.
You got a journalism for that? You got to be joking me.
Because later on in the show, I'll skip ahead.
Yeah.
Byron Saxton's chatting to the Street Profits. They put over the Motor City Machine Guns, but basically say we're the tag champs. And then they are interrupted by Mello Don't Miz, the new tag team on the block. And Miz talks about, guess what? His Wikipedia page and
That's
how many
right.
times? 9-time tag team champion.
Yep.
Of course. And he says it's an insult that the tag team titles aren't on the WrestleMania card. He's putting them on notice. And Mello reiterated they'd most definitely want the smoke because let's not forget this team are awesome.
My favourite new thing you do.
So that's what
5?
5-way?
Or in a something that's far more insulting to most of the audience, but not us. Like, Street Profits just win, and then it's Profits versus Mello and Miz because they've wrestled everybody else.
Either way.
Oh my God.
Sounds good to me, brother.
Yeah, me too. But I think a lot of people would, you piss a lot of people off. So, or nothing. It's just a tag title match, and then there's nothing for any of them. There's a few options.
We've
but
done all this for the last 4 months for bugger all.
Just, whole story has felt like it's been in service of this big multi-man, chuck the belts up there for a ladder match, and the Miz making it explicit that, you can't even get on WrestleMania, you stinking losers. Like,
yeah, it feels like they're hanging a
in a
lantern
way,
on it.
yeah.
Yeah. We had a video celebrating Triple H, King of the Ring, Hall of Fame.
About bloody time, if you ask me.
Give him his bloody flowers. But don't go to the Hall of Fame.
Poor guy, like, I don't know if you've ever heard this story because it made me sick to my stomach, JR, to even listen to it. Like, that guy was buried for a month when the clique all left the company, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
he suffered through it.
He barely worked multiple pay-per-views and won the Intercontinental title. Do you understand what that must be like? It's disgusting what happened.
Your kid's kicks off. Right, that's it. Huh? Now, go and wash the pots. Then we're off to Disneyland.
No iPad for 60 seconds. I've spoken.
You like that iPad so much? Why don't you have it for the whole night? Wait a second. Have you watched the WrestleMania?
You don't even have a bedtime, yeah?
Watched the WrestleMania 9 documentary yet?
Watched it.
You flew to America, actually, just to watch it.
I flew to America to watch it. I was going to say some gross stuff. For the first time in a long time, because I've been trying very, very hard to watch what I eat, but in celebration of just how excited I was this documentary, it was on a tray night, baby. Like, we had some...
I'm good for dinner, thanks.
We had some of those, like, garlic bread with cheese slices.
Oh my God.
You know, the ones that already come pre-sliced in a pack? There's like 8 in a pack.
Yeah.
They were 3 days out of date. So I ate them all.
I was going to say that serves 4, doesn't it?
It serves one. Serves one with the WrestleMania documentary, mate. My wife was out and my kids were in bed.
So talk you through your dinner again.
8 garlic bread with cheese slices. 5 packets of mini cheddars for afters. Because they were in the drawer.
Just in case you hadn't enough cheese.
They were in the drawer.
They were in the drawer. What if it was just a single apple in that drawer? What would have happened?
That drawer would have been closed until I found the mini cheddars, obviously.
They were in the drawer.
The drawers. It must have been like sort of a villain rolling back into town in an old western. My
People's
kitchen.
postcode lottery. What, are you in the drawer?
Someone's knocking at your drawer. It's dad and he wants some crisps. Like, it's been like the safest. My kitchen's been like a safe space for months. Like, free of my threat. The clear present danger that is me. All of a sudden, the crisp started trembling. We know those footsteps. Oh, no, he's back. It must be WrestleMania season. All the crisps in the drawer going, oh, my God.
Oh, phew. He's taking a packet of crisps out the drawer. I guess that's it for the evening.
So it was 3 courses.
Wait, why is there light in here again? Again.
As you know, garlic bread is a starter. So
he didn't revisit. He took them all on the first
I took them all.
Did you?
Nicholas knows me. I just took them all at once. I saw 5 packets, right?
And you thought...
Adele had bought a 6-pack, and she'd only eaten one across the week, the silly Billy. So I was like, well, that's all 5. I'll replace the multi-pack over the weekend.
You thought, well, like, each of these packets of mini cheddars can represent a tag team that's going to go into the ladder match at WrestleMania.
That's exactly what I thought.
Oh, wait, this is always here.
And then like Triple H, if he was still wrestling, I just ate him alive. Like, so they were all gone. And I was like, right, so I've had my starter and my main.
Mini cheddars.
Need pudding.
What's your pudding?
Pudding was, in the absence of, well, because the kids have got like 2 treat tubs where if they're ever given sweets or whatever, I will sometimes put things in. So I make a point of like, you can never steal from those treat tubs.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I did look in both, but there was nothing I fancied.
I suppose you would have had time to replenish.
There was a Aldi own brand almond magnum that my life wouldn't have been worth living if I'd have eaten that. And like, if my wife had gone to the freezer and that was missing, like, never mind WrestleMania, that's life cancelled. I was like, right, you need to think outside the box. It's been a while since you've made a show of yourself food where I was like this. Go get the Nutella. Nutella with a spoon. Just until my body was like saying, please stop. That is, and I have missed that me a great deal this year.
Me too.
I cannot convene with it often because it gets out of hand. It becomes a problem.
Does it?
I got out for a run the next morning. I sweated off much of the damage I'd done. But I like that guy in small doses, but he don't like me. But it was me. It was WrestleMania 9. It was one of the best documentaries that WWE has produced in years. It was a terrible documentary, but who cares? The footage was unbelievable.
About 15 minutes in, it looks amazing so far.
Talking heads, what they are, they're just telling you the usual stuff. They're always like, well, things were changing in the business in 1993. Tell us why. Tell us specifically why. Tell us what's suddenly not in the business and ask what's in those bum bags. But the footage, Jesus Christ, like, oh my God.
Steroids sucked. and
then all of a sudden it was the late 90s. They didn't suck no more. Gorilla position in the car park in Vegas.
Oh my God.
Literal gorilla position. There's Gorilla Monsoon stood there. Yeah. Randy Savage, right, turns up for rehearsal where he's brought out on the sedan and he's being fed grapes. He's got rehearsal gear. He's got this Randy Savage attire that I've never seen before because he never wore it to the ring. He had it made for, I'm rehearsing in Vegas. I can't look anything but me. So and then Scott Steiner's like, yeah, Hogan's robot villain He says it was jet skis. I think Randy punched him. I think he told me he punched him. And then everybody's like, it's Randy would have needed an arm made of metal. Would have needed a
real
would
bad
have needed
look,
a fist made of like Lex Luger's steel-plated elbow.
His eyeball is black, basically, isn't it?
Oh, it's so gross, man. It looks like Russ Abbott with a floating marble in his face. Because he's looking pretty smaller as well. Tell us why. But it is like, look, you know me, I love Brett and Sean. I'll never apologize, but difficult time for the business. And there's this bit where this guy's like, so I got this fax, and it's got the number of tickets we sold, and I have to send this to Vince McMahon, and I don't want to do it.
It's a great shot of Shawn Michaels very early on. Not seen much so far. And he shot what can only be described as cock first.
Yeah, balls right in your face. even Sean's like, who the hell had that idea? Like, somebody really took their eye off the balls. Sean, I can't.
Back to SmackDown. And it's
a phenomenal bit of work. Get your garlic bread, get your mini cheddars, get your Nutella jar, and sit down for 2 hours of one of the finest. Especially if you're in your 30s. We're all in our 30s. But of a certain age, it's just nice to be able to say WrestleMania 9 was good. You go on the internet when you're like 12 or 13. Hey, woke up this morning feeling fine. Got a strong opinion on WrestleMania 9. And it's like, it was the f***ing worst one ever. All the matches were Oh. Welcome to the IWC. Just have to hold those opinions in for all these years. And now you can be like, nope, that's better than matches. They turned a car park into a Roman Coliseum. That is better than matches. I will go on record as saying that's better than matches.
Rey Phoenix versus Berto came next. This was really good stuff.
Yes, this was really good stuff.
I think this was just arguably justify what I said last week about him and one half of the tag team champions, of course, in NXT. That being in Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
But a light and shade in terms of showcasing what Mr. Phoenix can do.
Yes. The better match, this one.
Yes, yes. Didn't kill his opponent, this one. Good sort of technical exchange, roll-ups and what have you. But Berto shoves Rey Phoenix off the top for a big crash and hits a dive to take us to a break. When we come back, Phoenix fights back, hitting Berto with a big boot. And then a shotgun dropkick from the top rope. He chops Berto. It's a moonsault headbutt from the top. Lovely. Follows that up with a double stomp on Berto's back. Hits a corkscrew splash over the ropes to the outside. And a rolling frog splash for a 2 count that looked really good in there as well. But Berto fights back. He gets Phoenix on the top rope. It's a leaping kick for a great near fall. He also sunset flips Phoenix and hits a sit-out powerbomb to really showcase his power in there for another 2 count. They fight again on the top rope. This time Phoenix hits a jumping Frankensteiner, but Berto just kicks out, comes back with a nice stiff powerbomb for another good 2 count. Goes up top, goes for a moonsault, but Phoenix gets his feet up. He does this thing that I've never seen before. He runs along the top rope and kicks Berto in the face. Looked incredible. Other places should have let him do that. Mexican muscle buster, 1, 2, 3. Post-match, it looks like Santos Escobar is going to attack Berto or Phoenix, but he just forces Berto to shake Phoenix's hand and congratulates him on the victory.
What a crisp match this was. Execution was so, really, it was like liquid pro wrestling from both of them. But Phoenix, I felt, needed a less clunky match than he had the first week with Nathan Frazier, and he got that here. Berto was predictably perfect for him. But it was like a good night for Berto too, as we forecast it might be.
He's really good, isn't he?
Really good.
Not deceptively good. That sounds really backhanded. He's so good, you sort of don't need to go, oh, he's good, he is.
He's better than his profile on screen permits.
Him and Angel.
Yeah. I think the next logical move is Phoenix winning the Battle Royal. And do you recall in early 2021, I think it was in Daly's, the Battle Royal he won, where people, that tiny crowd were screaming. I think it was down to Rey Phoenix and Jungle Boy, maybe?
Yeah, Jungle Boy's last one, yeah.
Holy goddamn. Phoenix in a Battle Royal situation, the escapes, the stuff he can do, bouncing between people. Perfect showcase. Andre Phoenix the Giant.
Nice.
Yeah. Better than Andrew, I suppose, when Madcap Moss won it that year. I think give him the trophy now, and then have that nice moment with him and Penta at WrestleMania as well. But you could even do him and Andrade as the last two in the Battle Royal. It's the first time they've kind of you keep them separated in the match, and then they kind of do some sort of stereo elimination where they're back to back, and they realise, and you've just got the fans coming up for everyone in the HyperX 50-foot screen going
Battle Royal, yeah, we're going to be watching it.
Yeah. Be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Running the ropes a couple of times, dodging eliminations and stuff, and then kicking somebody out of the floor off it. Or just something like that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going with him for the Battle Royal, I think.
What followed was Byron Saxton. He's outside SmackDown GM's office. Can't remember what his name is. And he's there with someone who, I'll be honest, I thought we'd never see on the main roster. And that's Roxanne Perez of NXT.
Uh-huh.
She's ready to steal the show because Tiffany can't stand the pressure. And then Tiffany showed up and said, piss off, you could learn something from me. They have an argument. SmackDown GM walks out, and the match has landed in his lap.
It has.
On paper, I wish I'd known about this before. What a match this is.
The match is it next?
No,
it's not, is it? We'll talk about all of this.
Got the referee going into a shoot for himself in a minute.
We'll talk about all of this after the match.
Okay.
Dumb as hail, but we'll talk about it after the match.
There was a video.
Oh my God.
All about CM Punk and Paul Heyman. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a bit of business.
It's spliced together from documentary stuff that they've done, years and years and years of stuff, obviously.
This one and the Cody ones from last week. Strong ass stuff.
Yeah.
Good advocates for making videos if you've not got anything in the meantime, because the footage they've been able to use for these has been fantastic. Both were great.
We're outside the trainer's room now with Chelsea Green, who's desperate to get the Secret Service out to help her against Zelina Vega. And then we got the match, Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green. Chelsea throws a dress at Zelina, jumps her, hit a drop kick, sent her to the outside, chucked her around the outside, argued with commentary, and then from what I've read online, got just counted out to give Zelina Vega the win. There was reports that said that this wasn't the finish.
Yeah.
It felt like it was the finish as a way to say, right, well, Zelina Vega's got a win over the US champ. We can have a US championship match next week on the SmackDown, or the week after, on the SmackDown before or after WrestleMania.
We cursed to just think, well, no, everything's a work. Even when you tell me it's a shoot, it's a work. Because you could argue both here, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It was weird. And obviously the story emerges that the referee is doing what the referees are told to do, which is treat this as if it's legitimate. So if a wrestler doesn't kick out, for example, or if a wrestler doesn't get back in the ring, in this case. But I'm with you. I think there was the tone they'd set with the Secret Service not being there, and how they've just booked Zelina Vega in this mini program was to set up Zelina Vega as a challenger. So you do that by her beating Chelsea Green in some capacity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why do this match at all? However, the count-out thing feels almost cruel to Chelsea Green as somebody who is known for maximising her minutes and making the most of every exchange she has, and she was doing that with the commentators here. In typical Chelsea Green fashion, the follow-up to this has almost made you glad it's happened regardless. And if it wasn't if it wasn't a shoot, getting the information out and making it seem like one has added a bit of conversation to... the follow-on and Chelsea Green's impending story that she might be telling with somebody that we already know quite well in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Do we tell the viewers, the listeners? Or do you think there's saving for the NXT preview? Because there might be some follow-up. Chelsea Green, in feeling like she's been wronged by this referee, is going to take legal action. So you need legal advice, do you not, when you're taking legal action? And she has turned to NXT, a place where she has been previously, and to one Luca Crucifino Esquire.
Oh my God.
The memo is out there should you wish to read it online. And presumably, on NXT this week, we might hear from Luca himself, confirming whether or not he is going to agree to take the case. But that could be making chicken salad out of chicken mess.
Yes. Or this could be I don't buy that it was a shoot, but regardless, I would like the idea that the SmackDown GM says he lost, so you're going to defend the title against her. Oh, and by the way, don't try any of that this time because you can lose the title via count out. And there's going to be, I think, potentially a phenomenal near fall where she's going to be about to be getting counted out because she got her ass kicked on the outside of the ring. Mm-hmm. And the Secret Service go, well, she can't lose like this. Chuck her back in straight to a finisher from Zelina Vega.
Nice, yeah,
2.9.
Yeah. I don't like that.
I don't want the title to go anywhere.
Or a weapons, no count outs, no DQ thing because the next one could be a DQ. Or like it's a way to make non-finishes finishes. Road Dogg loves it.
Yes.
That's his dream.
Santos Escobar is backstage. He's very disappointed, extremely disappointed, I should say, in Berto. And he tells him to go and find Phoenix to congratulate him on a job well done. He reminded him of all the talk he gave last week, basically. And then also, following that, Andrade approaches him and says, you're a great wrestler. You need to keep your head up. And Berto just says, mind your own business. It's
a little bit rote, I think, to just have these wrestlers tagging with or feuding with each other. It's an unfortunate pattern of the Triple H era. Doesn't feel like it's being approached with a lot of love at the moment.
No.
I'm going to let it play out a little bit longer.
Phenomenal promo next. I'm not even talking about Cody. We'll get to him in a second because before that, it's Naomi again, knocking it out of the park. Razor blades in her hair. Mm-hmm. There's the caution earring and a razor blade in the other one. She calls Jade Cargill a snake and an opportunist. She says, I know if I hadn't pushed Jade, she'd have pushed me at some point. Without her in the picture, me and Bianca became champions and friends. Now Bianca won't even look at me. No more fake loyalty. I'm doing what's best for me. And Jade, you should proceed with caution. Jade fires back. If Naomi thought she could avoid the storm, she's wrong. Jade's pissed. Naomi's insecurities have led to this. When a star starts to fade, they steal shine from anything they can. The glow is fading. Naomi won't be able to stay relevant at my expense, says Jade. Naomi was just jealous. At Mania, she's not a rookie. She's Naomi's biggest threat. The storm is coming. Really loving this.
Excellent build. Peaking at just the right time. Yeah. There's a real sense of momentum behind both. Like Jade Cargill's absence made the heart grow fonder for her, and you kind of have forgotten now about some of those, like the botchier moments of the tags she had with Bianca Belair. Meanwhile, Naomi, to use your parlance, is just knocking this out of the park at the moment. Everything she's doing.
There's my one concern. I had no doubts other than this. I was always convinced this was going to go to WrestleMania. They had big plans for Jade Cargill. My only thing was like, everyone likes Naomi. Can she be a heel? Oh, yeah, put razor blades in her hair and do this.
Is the finish hiding in plain sight? She is taken on the caution tape to make that catchphrase make sense instead of glow.
Yes.
And obviously people have drawn comparisons to Owen Hart's gear when he had all the tape and the danger and all of that. Is this foreshadowing the finish, which is going to be Owens on Brett's when he stepped out of his shadow and Brett's got him up on the shoulders, which you could imagine Jade and Naomi, and Owen kind of leans in on a victory roll. And that ends up being how Naomi pins Jade, because there's an element of desperation to that victory. Jade's got her. She's up on the shoulders. Maybe trying an electric chair. Not like we would want to kind of predict that sort of spot. But yeah, up like that. And then Naomi leans forward on the victory roll, gets the win. And that's what the sort of Owen-inspired caution stuff has been foreshadowing. I don't know. It's a way for her to get a win and keep it alive as well. Because I think she beats her at WrestleMania.
Really?
I think she beats Jade Cargill.
Imagine if he wins that and then gets drafted to Raw. Bianca's just won the title.
New champion, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
That could be.
It's almost like it's a perfect escape from Jade Cargill. Beat you, that's it, we're done. We never need to fight again. Woo!
And then Jade could go on and have a nice, measured feud against Charlotte Flair or something.
Oh my God. Oh, I want to look at that. Oh, wow. Oh, Oh my God. Oh my God. They're going to die. Whew.
I'll teach you the ropes, kid. Don't worry.
Like a Vindaloo or something. Oh.
Cody Rhodes comes out. In amongst all this, by the way, there was a little sneak peek and they were just putting out loads of old belts.
Yes.
What was going through your head when they were doing this?
I'll tell you what was going through my head. What the f***'s that blue one?
Yeah.
They didn't even have the green, sort of like Hogan beating the Iron Sheik one. Latter era Backlund one. Yeah, nice to look at the belts. A lot of people have got a lot of wrong opinions on those belts, and I'll just leave it at that. Saw some stuff at the weekend. People get it wrong. It's a Winged Eagle. It's always been the Winged Eagle. Always will be. Don't be stupid. And just see some nostalgia.
Not for me, it's the spinner belt. Not that one. The rated R spinner belt. That's right.
Where's that one, eh?
That was the one we had for 2 weeks or whatever it was.
It's Cope's belt.
So Cody Rhodes comes out. Seattle obviously love him. Cody Rhodes. Cody said the crowd had got him a bit flustered. Thanked them. He mentioned Defying there as well?
Yeah. I wrestled here.
Yes. He didn't actually say, what do you guys want to talk about? So much that his glasses came off.
Oh, Wilbs. I'm really sorry. Yeah. I don't know how this keeps happening. Hamflett,
he didn't even say it.
What?
He didn't say it.
It's just...
But he didn't say it.
The cameras and the audio just keep... For some reason, whenever you do something really, like, ridiculous, it's like it almost makes it...
I did... was it WrestleCulture? Or was it... No. Which one was it where I did... Jacob Fatu,
WrestleCulture, yeah.
Yeah, Mina Shirakawa and Cody Rhodes into one person.
Oh.
What did that look like?
Can I have a look at this, please?
Wasn't it? Yeah. What do you guys want to talk about? No, I did the voice wrong. That's the Jacob Fatu song. Come on. What do you got?
What would it sound like if that was the parent of a very naughty teenager who just wanted to watch an NXT PLE?
You're grounded.
And it was in Vegas.
Cody's out there. Points all the belts.
Look, we're just recapping. Yeah, that's what happened. He's out there in the ring in Seattle.
This is.
Well, actually, it's funny though because after all that, we still didn't manage to catch that original Cody one.
But he didn't say it either as well.
Yeah, but
what are you guys want to talk about?
Thanks. I just want to make sure that people get that money's worth.
Just go, let's toss salad and scrambled eggs.
The WWE title stage is the best wrestler in the world. He said he's blessed to carry it. Knows it won't always be him. It's about the right at WrestleMania to keep the title in-house, keeping it here for the next 20 champions, whoever they may be. But there's one man trying to break that lineage and take it all away. It's John Cena. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks chance. He says Cody reminds us that Cena isn't going to be here. He will be in Vegas next week, though.
Oh, my God.
He talks about Cena calling him a common fan because of his tattoo and what have you.
He's just a common fan.
Cody says, so what? I have the ink for the same reason I wear this suit. I want to be somebody. And he sort of goes along the belts. Is that somebody who could sell out the world's most famous arena 188 times? Phenom, so who can sit up with broken ribs and what have you. Someone who can set the world up.
It's a bad reference. He just held the belt for a brief summer in 1997 when he was like the fourth most over guy in the company, and he held it for a week in 1991. There's 15 other people for that belt, Cody. What were you thinking? In Brett and Austin, in their match inducted at WrestleMania, and you went with a fucking dead man. Have a word.
Yeah, but who saved him at WrestleMania 40?
Oh, of course, yeah. I forgot that the dead man was a member of the Nightmare family.
Yeah, I didn't see Brett and Austin run out.
That's true.
I wish I had.
Lights out, big dong. Undertaker.
Respect to business, Dwayne.
Respect to business, big dong rolls away. Runs away, gets filmed on people's phone. See you later, guys. Dead man out.
One dead man show.
Scream.
Scream.
Someone who can set the world ablaze with Latino heat. That was nice. Lovely Eddie chant there as well.
Good.
And he gets the spinner belt, obviously. Mentions John Cena. Carrying WWE for 10 years through good and bad times. He says, look, I don't think this is bad. It's just someone trying to find himself and break the wheel. Sounds familiar to him, of course. Cena says he's always teaching. Well, maybe Cody can teach Cena something just this once. He saw his father struggle with this as a career babyface. John, they are allowed to love somebody else. He says, look, I call myself the captain here, but I'm part of a roster that has CM Punk, Randy Orton, Jey Uso, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, just to name a few.
Oh, God, it's good, isn't it? Oh. What a time to be alive.
But now he must stop history and Cena winning that title so he can keep the title here. He says this is the same thing. Drops Brock Lesnar's name here. He said this is the same thing I told Brock and Roman. I'm a wrestler, and that's what I do when I'm backed into a corner. That bell is going to ring, and when it's over, I will leave Cena in the ring to have his moment to say goodbye to the fans. He says, I'm not going to quote your lyrics to you, John. You already know your time is up. And in the future, Cody's will be as well. But the WWE title is timeless, and he'll make sure it stays home and stays with us. Cody's, every week he just kills it, doesn't he?
He kills it as he's killing time, doesn't he? Nobody kills time better than Cody Rhodes. There's not much to say or do with this John Cena thing. It's, there's like, in the months to come, we will reflect on this build, and I don't think we'll be particularly complimentary to it, regardless of how the match and the outcome goes at WrestleMania. Like, John Cena could win. I think that's going to be kind of amazing if it does. It's going to feel seismic if he wins the title. And the match could be tremendous, and we'll be full of praise for that and the decision and the booking and whatever. The build has not been up to scratch, truthfully. And yet, both of them have this ability to kind of talk about nothing and make nothing feel like something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they are sort of dancing around this issue with one another that, depending on the week, might be related to John Cena wanting to ruin wrestling, or might be related to John Cena no longer respecting business and legacy. And then, like, Cody is like, I love you, John, but in order to stay loving you, I've got to end you. It's all quite vague. It's The Rock's fault. Everything's The Rock's fault. Obviously, we're not yet clued in on step 20 of his 20-step master plan. 20 days to fix the business, whatever.
Neither hate, to be fair.
Well, indeed, yeah, he's still working on it, like that Rubik's Cube. And at WrestleMania on 420, it will reveal itself, as you have already been willing to scoop. You don't normally go out front with it, but you're kind of getting on top of it this time, yeah? So that's a mess.
Maybe you'll open the real Forbidden Door.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Partnership that New Japan can be proud of.
Good promo by Cody Rhodes.
It was awesome, that promo.
It was. It really was strong.
I loved it visually. I genuinely thought it was just one of the best ones he's done.
I would love, next week, John Cena to request that all the belts are laid out for him, and then he just smash them up with hammers.
Melt them all down. Make me a chain.
Oh, that he can use on his fist to punch Cody Rhodes with. I love it. Yeah. Have the individual podiums, and they've got sheets over them, and you're thinking, oh, I've Cena got the belts. And then just like one after another, it's like chain, knuckle duster, earrings,
Pissed on that bloke's grave. You seen that? Dead man.
So, like dog bowl for Pharaoh made out of one of the belts, the one that Cody has.
Nice.
That's just a gift.
So next week,
like the rest of them, I'm trying to make a point. That's just a gift. Take it home for your family.
Yeah, it's just something nice.
Yeah, I'm a dog person. That's John Cena. I'm not.
So yes, next week, the commentary team remind us John Cena's coming back.
I'm not advocating for dogs to go near pyro. I'm just not a dog person. Never be so irresponsible.
John Cena's back next week. Honor the Giant Battle Royal and Street Profits defending the tag titles against the Motor City Machine Guns. This is where we got the interview with Street Profits after this. And then we got Tiffany Stratton versus Roxanne Perez. Really enjoyed this. Don't know why they did it here, but regardless. The storied history of NXT showcased right here. Perez fights back after Tiffany dominates early. She whips Tiffany to the ground by her hair, slaps Perez, does Tiffany Stratton to fight back. Suplexes her a couple of times, but Perez grabs the ring apron once the referee's busy himself with that. She rakes Tiffy's eyes, sends Tiffy into the ring post, and stomps on her arm to take us to a break. When we come back, Tiffy fights back with a spine buster for a 2 count. Perez tries for Tiffy's arm, but runs into a pop-up powerbomb for 2. But Tiffy misses the hip attack, and Perez slams her and steps over her, goes for a moonsault from the second rope, but Tiffy gets the knees up. Tiffy goes up top. Perez cuts her off, though, with a nice Russian leg sweep from the top. Kicks her in the midsection, goes for pop rocks, but Tiffy gets out of that, and they trade pin attempts. Perez gets her in a crossface, but Tiffy gets out of that, slams Perez, and hits the prettiest moonsault ever for the 1-2-3.
Good match, but it'd be, I think, like negligent, really, to not bring up the mess that WWE are making with Roxanne Perez to the main roster.
It's weird, isn't it?
Like, Sidge would be furious if he was on this podcast because he's been rooting for this move in such a long time. And I'm feeling sympathy for him at this point to have to watch how it's playing out. She has this like terrific Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
In the main roster setting, does all the business asked of her on the way out of NXT.
Looks like she was getting Bailey at WrestleMania, didn't she?
Yeah. Plans have clearly changed. And I say plans because it feels like more than one plan has changed. And she's neither confirmed WWE nor NXT. And she rocks up on this SmackDown with this odd character thing of, right, I watched last week and I don't think Tiffany Stratton's up to the challenge of being the champion going into WrestleMania. And that results in these two having a match. And then is proven completely wrong in her assertion. But before she'd done that, she was sort of saying, look, if these two can't get it together, like, I'll be an alternate. Throw me in, coach, basically. But not to replace Charlotte Flair, the challenger. No, she's won the Rumble. To replace Tiffany Stratton, the world champion, to get a match with Charlotte Flair, the challenger. Like, that'd be like, winning a tournament that features the champion just to get a match against the challenger. That'd be dumb. But it is pretty dumb, isn't it?
It's weird. Yeah, I think they're just like, well, we can do what we want because we'll just do her as a big draft. Like, where's she come from? Doesn't matter.
But of all the times that DOGG doesn't deliver Debbie Deeks, he just pins her. So like after WrestleMania, hey, that loser, she's the number 1 contender.
Oh, she's lost to the world champion.
I guess so. And I'm not advocating, just don't book it. Like, I'm not advocating.
No one will remember anyway because of this chaos that happened afterwards.
Yeah, aye.
Because immediately afterwards, Tiffany Stratton is pulled out of the ring by Charlotte Flair in street clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And she attacks her. She throws her over the commentary table. And then I have no idea again what happened here. But Wade Barrett steps between the two of them. She shoves him. He's like, you're going to get yourself fired. And Stratton's like selling midsection, attack. And I was like, bloody love this, me.
I didn't like this.
I just love the whole thing because I have no idea what's going to happen at WrestleMania.
Cannot call it. Really wish that they'd held off on this because I think this would have made a perfectly fun go-home angle, go-home brawl. The type of energy they were trying to... It's hard to summon it, but, we've mentioned it before, the three-way fight with Ronda, Charlotte and Becky on the go-home Raw. I
think that's what they do on SmackDown.
Maybe they do. Car stuff, police stuff, whatever. Maybe they do. Like, they literally need to be put in handcuffs to be held back from each other. You got Roxanne Perez there in the middle being like, look, I could have given you a straight-up match here. I don't think this is ideal right now because a week ago, it was kind of all anybody could talk about. And you took that reality and you fictionalized it a little bit too much. I think this week, everybody was like, oh, they've made friends backstage and now they're just going to have a nice little match. Do you know what I mean? Like they had summoned that rare, they're going to kill each other energy. It's really hard in 2025. That's why programs shouldn't work towards it because nobody buys it. They're out there to cooperate. But they'd actually had people saying, I'm going to have to look at this at WrestleMania because is one of them just going to go into business themselves? And then 7 days later, you work a couple of pretty big, violent angles. The thought is, no, they're not going to go into it. They're just going to have a match. So do you know what I mean? It was a tough circle to square, and I just don't think they got it right. I would have saved this brawl for the go-home.
We get a vignette with all the Punk, Heyman, Favor, Seth Rollins stuff. And then they run through the Mania cards. Saturday is, of course, Reigns, Punk, Rollins, Jade Cargill versus Naomi, the War Raiders versus the New Day. We talked more about on the Raw preview podcast from earlier on today. El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. L.A. Knight versus Jake Fatu.
Jake Fatu.
Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. And Gunther versus Jey Uso. Sunday is Bayley and Lyra versus Raquel and Liv. Priest McIntyre. Penta Dom, Bron Balor. Styles Paul. Sky Belair and Ripley. And, Cody and John Cena. So still space for a couple more.
Are we... Like
you and I are going to spoil what's about to happen. Randy Solo and the tag title match.
I think so.
Which would take us to 15.
Yeah, which over 2 nights is fine.
8, or would you do 8 on night 1, 7 on night 2? Cody Cena's going to be given a lot of time.
Yeah, if one's going to have one more match,
Reigns, Punk, Rollins going to give him plenty of time as well.
Is it fair to say? And I only base this on the fact that I didn't see much conversation in online circles at the weekend. They've got the split about right here.
Yeah.
Like, it's a decent divvying up of the matches,
I think
isn't it?
so.
Like, there's not... I mean, it typically, in this relatively recent era, works out that one night just skews better. That's the reality. But on paper, I think, like, this card has already felt a bit makeshift and compromisey, but I would say in terms of actually splitting, they've got this about right.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think this... If anything, Saturday feels more stacked than Sunday, possibly.
Which is a trick they've used before because the main event is so lofty. The night 2 main event has always got that little bit of extra, so you can afford to take a couple of things off. I think, to be honest, it feels that way.
Last year was the first time they nailed both nights.
Yeah. I think because of the Punk and Roman and Seth main event, when a lot of people would have happily gone with Jey Uso and Gunther, that one does feel like it's got 2 or 3 massive consequential matches. Night 2's got a bit less of that, but Cena Cody's end of the world stuff. So
and they've put thingy on night 2 as well, the women's triple threat.
Yeah,
which makes a lot of sense. Main event of the evening, it was L.A. Knight.
Yeah,
and Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. L.A. Knight is in there with Solo, taunting Orton. Of course, L.A. Knight comes back and chucks Solo out of the ring. Knight brings in Orton, who works over Solo, hits a snap power slam. Same for you, Tama Tonga. Actually hit the draping DDT early on in the match, did Orton. Sets up for the RKO, but Sikoa counters with a Samoan drop, and Tama Tonga drop-kicked LA Knight off the apron to take us to our final break. When we come back, Orton's trying to get over tonight, but he can't get there. Solo knocks LA Knight off the apron, works a chin lock, but eventually Orton hit a back suplex and gets the hot tag to LA Knight.
Yeah.
Tonga also comes in, and Knight just drops him all over the place. Russian leg sweep in there. Knight stomps on Tonga, gives Solo Sikoa a neck... Tonga. Gives Solo Sikoa a neck breaker. Power slams Tonga, hits his elbow drop as well, but Sikoa breaks up the pin. Sikoa then hits Samoan spike on Knight, and Orton's like, oh, we're doing that, are we? So he gave an RKO to Tama Tonga, and the brawl away do Solo and Randy Orton, probably all the way to WrestleMania at this rate. Back in the ring, LA Knight gives Tonga a BFT for the 1, 2, 3. Anything you want to say about this? Because all I want to talk about is this post-match.
I know, just a match to set up the, obviously, crowd roll and what we got next.
Because after the match, Jacob Fatu shows up, super kicks Knight, hits a running senton, headbutts him repeatedly, hip attack, step up moonsault, picks up the US title. Nah, I want another moonsault on this twat. Hits it again, and then licks the title, and hits another moonsault to close out this show.
Yeah, just like that. It's exactly how I played it. I love this end sequence. I love Jacob Fatu, who doesn't, if nothing else, there's a lot of, we've talked to death at this point. Time to get just blindly excited because it's WrestleMania week. There's a lot of matches that feel like, it could have been that, it could have been that, it could have been that. If and but and all that. Shoulda, woulda, coulda are the last words of a fool. But none of those words are attached.
Beverly Knight?
Yeah.
Beverly Knight.
Yeah. How I wish he could have booked a bit more. Not here. I love this.
Yeah.
I am ready for Jacob Fatu to make his first ascension up the card with the US title. It puts over the belt as being this stage en route to the world title when he's back in that picture. LA Knight, good run. The right spot for him as the defending champion rather than as the babyface trying to win something this year. This is one of the matches I'm most up for across both nights of WrestleMania because the stakes aren't high, but I want to see Jacob Fatu win this belt. I think LA Knight will be fine, but I just think the babyface reaction for Jacob Fatu is going to be huge on this night. People will enjoy, like, the LA Knight music pop will be big. LA Knight, a couple of signature spots, whatever. But
he's the right person, yeah.
He is. The pop when Jacob Fatu wins is going to be massive. I'm excited for it.
I am too. Let us know your thoughts on this episode of SmackDown and how excited you are for WrestleMania in the comment section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there. You can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow our brilliant producer Adam Nicholas at
It's Adam Nicholas.
And you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE and make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts, the Raw preview and Collision review available right now wherever you get your podcasts from. And we will see you in Las Vegas for a big SmackDown preview in just a few days' time. And join us for the SmackDown watch-along at the HyperX Arena in the Luxor, whatculture.com/tickets. But for now, this has been the SmackDown review. My thanks to Hamflett. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon after we've talked, of course. I almost forgot about Randy Orton potentially facing Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania. More chaos with Tiffany, Stratton, and Hamflett. Another amazing Cody Rhodes promo. Rey Phoenix versus Berto and Bayley and Lyra Valkyria running the gauntlet.
The SmackDown preview. It's got all this and so much. Fiend. Oh my God. Fiend.
See you soon.
Fiend.